Dear smartphone makers, I think it's time for us to just sit down and talk a little bit to ourselves. Like, let us just talk one on one. Smartphones are increasing at an ever growing rate, but at the same time, I think there are some things that you guys should just have to change about your smartphones. But first of all, we'll take it step by step. Android, like Android is so popular these days. It's becoming, I don't use what it's becoming irritating, but something like this. The competition between Android smartphones companies are getting more like hyped. This one is because it's becoming hyped because Android is Google based. One, two. Nearly all smartphones use Android. If you're not using Android, you're probably using Harmony OS. If you're not using Harmony OS, you're using iOS. That's just it. Every other anything OS you see runs on iOS. Once on Android. Android is more like the slash code that they built anything on. So anything running on them is probably from Android. But the thing is that Android smartphones are, I don't know. You guys should just do something. Like, if you go into the Android market today now, you will see smartphones that resemble each other so much, if not because of the names of the company written on it. You won't even differentiate that, okay, this is a particular brand, this belongs to Samsung, this belongs to probably Itel. A few days ago, I was working in a public space, and then I saw an Itel smartphone. Guess the name of the Itel smartphone? S24. So, of all the names in the dictionary, of all the names in the Bible, of all the names in the Constitution, the only name you found to name your phone is the same name Samsung gave their own phone that just got released this year. And why did both of you name it 24 in the same 2024? Like, with more like a 3 month difference in the release date. We have Samsung S24 Ultra, and also we have Itel S24, I think, Plus. You see what I'm talking about? And even if you go out, you see some smartphones that look like iPhone. Like, their cameras are just like that of iPhones. Not even good quality camera, but just like that of iPhones. You see some that look like Samsung. You will see smartphones from the same company bearing dumb names. Take for example the um the Sony Mark. We have Sony 5 Mark 5, and we have Sony 10. I think Sony 10 Mark 5. But the funny thing is that the 10 is the smaller version, while the 5 is the bigger version. Why is the 5 the bigger version? And why is the 10 the smaller version? I don't get it. But I don't know if any of them see this video. I think they should be able to correct most of these things when they can. Number two, Apple's design. Apple products are great, but to be serious, their designs are getting boring. Like, we'll be seeing this design for the past like 6 years now, and your design is constant. No changing anything. The same boxy design, the same stereo speakers. Everything about Apple design is just getting boring. The thing that I like iPhone. That's just, I like iPhone normally, but their design is one of the things that just pisses me off the most. They don't change their designs. Their camera arrangement is the same, though they change that for the 14 and the 14 plus, 15 and 15 plus, for the 13. They do change those, but does it actually make a difference? Like, everything is just the same, no difference. So I think that Apple, one of the things I don't want Apple to do, that they should just be able to correct their smartphone design. Because I'll say design is, I'm not saying that design is one of the things you look at when you buy a smartphone, but design is also one of the things that actually appeal to you when you buy this smartphone, which is really, really great. Another thing about smartphones I really, really hate is actually concept phones. You see, unlike concept cars, if you say a concept car will actually do what it's actually said to do. Take for example, there was a Nissan that they released. It had floating seats. The seats were actually floating. You see BMW car, the new grille, lighted up, self-driving, the body, the mat, everything about concept cars I often do work. Like, they do work on display. If you see the BMW that changes color, it actually worked on stage. But if you see the concept phone that probably any company released, it actually doesn't do most of what they actually said it is. It's just like, this is how it is going to be. Like, you drawing a car and see that this car currently, as it's on this paper, you draw a car on this paper and say this car, as it is currently on this paper, it is moving at a speed of 500 kilometers per hour. Fine, it can move at a speed of 500 kilometers per hour, but if you actually make it for real, can you actually move at that speed? That's what great concept phones are like. They don't make the phones fine, but those phones don't actually do what they actually say they are going to do. And the way their own changes, the way smartphones are changing these days is one of the things I don't really like, because every year now smartphone releases are so much. Most of the time I don't catch up with them. Take for example in 2023, I actually didn't catch up with about 40% of smartphone release. I actually caught up with the remaining 60% because I actually followed the news very well. But the remaining 40, I just maybe I can just scrolling one day and just find out that this phone just got released like 2 months ago, and you be like, what the what the and it's been released already. You can't make a video. Even the phone, you don't understand things about it. Companies that, I don't use the word, companies that are not qualified to make phones are making phones like as if it's a big deal, like as if there's money in the making of smartphone. Yeah, there may be money, but it doesn't seem right the way things are just going right. Software of smartphones are getting more whack, extends to bigger companies like Samsung, Apple, Xiaomi. The way phones are run these days is not at the best, but I think we'll see changes over the year, because I say as AI is coming, we are getting to see AI chips, AI software. So I think changes will start to come to more of these companies as time goes on. And one of the things I hate the most about smartphones is when it comes to flagships and mid-ranges. You see, flagship phones are great phones. Take for example, the 15 Pro Max is a flagship phone. The S24 Ultra is a flagship phone. The Xiaomi 14 is a flagship phone. But if you say you should look at the other smartphones from the same company, like their mid-range smartphones, they don't live up to the standard of the major like they don't live up to the standard of flagship. On the flagship you can get a glass back, but then on the mid-range you can get plastics, which is something that will piss you off entirely, that won't even make you to get the mid-range especially, and always make you to aim for the flagship. And even if you check other companies that are making mid-range phones nowadays, most of them are now shifting their attention to making flagship more like a premium package, whereby you want good, you pay for good. You want the best, you have to pay for the best now. So that is more like what it is now. Everyone is trying to cut out mid-ranges. And if you look at the way Apple actually did for the iPhone 15, it actually was one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen on screen yet. Because when they released the smartphone, great, iPhone 15, good phone. iPhone 15 Pro Max was running on the A17 chip. Nice. iPhone 15 Pro was running on the A17 chip. Nice. But the iPhone 15 was running on A16, and the iPhone 15 Plus was running on the A16 chip. Do you know why? They are trying to give a generational leap between them. This is one on A16, this one on A17. So take for example, if you had an iPhone 14, you had an iPhone 14 Pro Max, and you be like, yes, you use the A16 chip on the iPhone 14 Pro Max, and then you bought the iPhone 15 Plus or the iPhone 15, you find that you're going to use the same, it's going to be like more like the same kind of power that you're going to use, no difference in between. So what Apple now is trying to do, that they want to do, like, since they know you are human, you can think, they know that since you've used that same amount of power, that same amount of chip in your last smartphone, which is the 14 Pro Max, won't you like to use a new software package or a new powerful package or a new powerful chip? Then you have to switch over to the premium package or the flagship package, which is 15 Pro Max and 15 Pro. But everything is just good. Where are we right now? Right now, where we are, everyone is diving towards AI. It's becoming scary, yes, but it is what it is. We all have to accept it as it is, and as it comes. Make sure use your smartphone. Let your smartphone use you.